Hello, today we're testing FSD 14.2.2.5. We are doing the exit testing. So this is where I like to kind of show how it sets up for exits and if it gets over quick enough or if it, in the past, sometimes it's taken a little bit too long to get over. I always do this test in hurry mode just to add a little bit of stress to the system, but I've set a destination 20 miles down this highway, and I'm just every couple miles going to pick a spot to exit, and we'll see how it does. A shout out to my subscribers. Really appreciate the support. And if you like Tesla content, please like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. So right now we're at 2.9 miles to the first exit. This exit has given me trouble before, but we'll see how it does. It's I talk a lot about the highway behavior and some of the stuff that it does and how it misses exits occasionally, but it's really getting to the point where it doesn't do it very often. So you really have to kind of stress test it to get it to do it. But I think it's worth doing these tests to kind of see where we're at for sure. This version has been very good. However, the previous couple of versions did not really see much improvement, in my opinion, on the highway. But this version, I think, has. And one note is lane change hesitations have basically been fixed to 90, 95%. In my opinion, they are 100% fixed. Just before I turn the camera on, and I'll go ahead and stop with that. So we're 1.3 miles to the exit, and now we're getting over to the left. I don't really like that. I would much rather stay at least over on that right lane and just slow down a little bit. But it's still trying to go around people. But anyway, that right before I turned the camera on, it just like got right out in front of somebody, and they have improved the highway performance on this version. I am 100% convinced, and I've had it for about 5 days now, maybe 4 days. Today's Thursday. I've had it since Sunday night, I think. So this is great. It got over here at 0.5. That's my new limit. I want it 0.5 to be staged, ready to exit at whatever speed. If that speed's 20 miles an hour, whatever, that's what it needs to be. If it's 70, that's fine too. But yeah, it got over here and it just slowed way down, and that is excellent. Good job, Tesla. I've never quite felt it come over and just slow down like that. It always just wants to try to get past it to the next car. So that was very good job. All right, so we're set up for the next exit. Let's see what it says here. It takes a second for it to tell us how many miles. 1.8 miles. Now there's a decent amount of traffic and slowdown up here. This is during rush hour traffic, by the way, but it is going the opposite way that most people would be going. But coming back, we'll be going with traffic, but it'll be a little later. So I'm hoping it's not. I'm not interested in, stop and go traffic. But I am interested in just having a lot of cars on the road for it to navigate. So that's why I decided to do it this evening, this late afternoon. So here it is, 1.3 miles. Again, hurry mode. Lots of cars. I'd love to see it start to get over. Like now. 0.8 miles, it's starting to get over. Again, I want to be in that right lane at 0.5 miles, so this is about right. Right now would be a great time to get over, right now. But I mean, that's also just how I would do it. If it very uneventfully gets over, a little later, I guess that's okay. But now I'm saying right now, okay, all right, here we go. I would like it still to get over earlier, but I think that's just me. But this version, I'm not saying that I don't pay attention to the road. I'm not saying that, everybody, but there is a checkout that can happen when you're using FSD, and it's just where you're not quite paying attention to the route or exactly where you are. You're just paying attention to the cars, and that is happening a lot with this version. So it is really able to navigate very smoothly without me having to worry about it. That is unique to this version. I've gotten that a little bit with all the other V14, V14.2 that is, versions, but this one is just, it is butter. It is really good. All right, 2.7 miles. This will be perfect. But yeah, this is. I think they had another wave of this version go out. I'd say about every third version, I get it. Like, for some reason, I get it within 12 hours of early access, and that was the case with this one. Like, what I mean by that is the early access people get it, maybe 100 people throughout the country, including the influencers like Omar and Dirty Tesla, Chuck Cook, and all that. But I mean, I got this thing immediately that night, and really appreciate them sending it to me. Really enjoy testing this. I do these mainly because I watched all the FSD videos for the last 2 years and just really enjoyed watching them, and just decided to buy a camera and start doing them myself just for fun. But another thing is I do like to focus on the highway, is not a whole lot of people do that. And that's where all my miles and all my time gets driven. And so I see a lot of details that a lot of people don't talk about. Good and bad. I mean, it's just, this version is very good. I think I was getting discouraged on 14.2.2.3 and 14.2.2.4 because I could just tell that all the focus was on parking lots, because that was getting better. But the highway was just, if anything, it was getting worse. It was getting slow, but that has changed. Now, we'll note I am in hurry mode again, and I did clean all the cameras, cleaned up the windshield a little bit, although it's still a little bit dirty, cleaned up the inside. Yeah, this time it really decided, and I think it does this whenever things are going a little slower and there's a little more traffic. I think it does try to get over a little earlier, and yeah, this is just no problem. Just no problem at all. Okay, we have a new destination set, 1.8 miles. Excuse me, new destination, so exits in 1.7 miles now. Car is having no issues today. I mentioned on my last video that as soon as the camera's rolling, it usually has less issues, it seems like. It's kind of Murphy's Law, I guess. But I can't say that I've had any, but with this version, and I've driven it quite a bit. I've also done a lot of recording. I really haven't seen too many issues. In fact, I don't know that I've had really much of an intervention at all. Like, and when I mean non-critical ones, a comfort intervention, other than in parking lots, which is definitely better but not perfect. I feel like parking lots is almost like where V12 was on roads. It's just they're trying to parking lots. They just started training it, and it's getting better fast, but it's completely different. If you're new to FSD and you go out and you test it, I mean, all you're going to be doing is complaining about parking lots. But if you're not new to FSD, the the behavior in parking lots is just incredible because it hasn't never done anything like that before. So I like that it's staying here in this right lane. It could easily get out of this lane, get zero point 0.8 miles, and try to go around this traffic. And I'm actually surprised it's not doing that. It could probably get away with it at zero point 0.7, zero point 0.8 miles. It could probably get away with passing some of these, but I would greatly prefer just to stay right here exactly like it's doing. I would hope this is what everybody would want to do too. I started thinking about that. This concept of micromanaging FSD that I think a lot of people, including people that make videos, I think are want to be able to do is to kind of micromanage the drive. And I have to be careful because a lot of that can be safety. Um, but for me, I just want it to not miss exits ever. And maybe that's too high of expectation because humans, I miss exits. I'll be in the wrong lane, and then I'm not one of those that'll go across two lanes of traffic to barely get the exit. I'm if I get rushed, I just keep going straight. So maybe that's too high of expectation, but anyway, they're getting there. I realize I've talked about missing exits, but I've never actually gotten one on tape. So really, it doesn't happen very often. But man, when it does, for some reason, it's I think a different personality in me comes out. I think I have one video like that. I think it's when I started ranting about it. Here we are. Couldn't have been better. The way it prepared, executed safely, got over very early, didn't panic when it slowed down. Just great job. So that was interesting. Whenever the route got set after I set the new destination, it was 1.7 miles, and I think it just saw all this traffic, and it said, "I'm getting over," because I mean, if it's thinking anything like I want it to think, which I've never seen it do this, it's just like, look, I better get over because I may not be able to up there with all this traffic, and it's just an amazing progress. The truth is, the exit it wants to take is right after a highway exit, so all this slowdown is for the highway, for the freeway up here, but or the tollway, excuse me. But it looks at it, and it makes that decision, and it seems like it's sticking with it. What I think it was doing in some of the other versions is it would do this. It would get over. It's like it knew it needed to get over, and so it would get behind the slow traffic, knowing it needs to exit. But then, like a goldfish, 10 seconds later, it's like, what am I doing over here? That lane's free, and it would get back out of here and then realize, oh, wait a minute, I need to get over to turn. It didn't have the context to make these decisions. So I don't know if that's part of 0.5 that they're able to increase the context of what's going on, or if just a little tweak here and there made it work a little better. I giggled right there because it says in the release notes that it's able to avoid potholes. What it should say is it's able to avoid skid marks in the street, because it does not avoid potholes. But man, when it comes to like a like a dark skid mark, it gets over for that, and that's what it just did right before that when I giggled. All right. 0.2 miles. Super prepared. 0% chance that we would miss this exit. It's putting itself in a position to not miss the exit, and I love that. All right, we're set up. Actually, the exit's in 0.8 miles. We just got over here in this left lane. It's going to be a good test. 0.8 miles. I was just about to talk about how this thing changes lanes like a boss now. It just has no issues changing lanes. There happened to be a nice little cut through there, so that was really easy for it. Loud truck. And here we are. So that one was a little unfair because it just, like, the route set up after it was already in the left lane, and then it just immediately said, I need to get over, which is perfect. Okay, so here we are, 2.3 miles to the next exit. Still getting over to the left. At some point I will have to turn around. We'll see how this goes. There's a lot of traffic coming back. I mean, it's stopped. So maybe I'll go down a little farther. That way give it more time to thin out, because at some point it'll thin out. .5 miles to exit. .72 miles an hour and a 70. I think I'm in a situation where I get back on the road and I wind up exiting around the same vehicles. I think that FedEx truck was, I'll have to watch the video, but I think that's the same truck that I was behind earlier. Okay, 0.8 miles to the exit. Now there's another highway interchange up here. Actually, I think it's actually about a mile still, because it's 0.7 miles, and that's just going to telling you you're going to go underneath this other highway, and then it's 0.6 miles from there. This is the high five. That's 5 layers of 5 layers of exits. I'm trying to think of what to call this. Like this whole interchange here is all. It's called the High Five in Dallas. Okay, so now we're at 0.5 miles, but it's already over here. It's like it knows what's going on. It knows that there's a lot of cars and better get over. Definitely making some sacrifices for this video because that traffic over there, that's a long way from home now. So yeah, we're going to make this exit no problem. So I'll go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, so we're back. I might say that again here in a second because I don't know if I'm going to include this, but I'm just very impressed with how this is changing lanes. It's doing a really good job, and I never really had an issue with it changing lanes on city roads or urban areas. It was always just on the highway, so I don't know if there's a different highway stack that this goes to, but man, they've really improved it. Here's a quick little lane change, just goes over like that, and as that seems simple enough, it would do that just fine on city roads, but when it was on highways, it would not do that even slow. With a car behind you, there was a car. It wasn't really right on us or anything, but it wouldn't have to be before for it to just. It would always just kind of do a little thing like that and then kind of creep over. But now it just goes. I love it. I think I'm hoping there's people out there that understand exactly what I'm talking about. Any of you guys that are on V14, but not this version. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've set a new destination. We're in very dense traffic here, 15 mile an hour, not quite stop and go. I figured we'd go ahead and do an exit here, zero point 0.9 miles. So it's got to get over through all this. To me, it's a little bit of an unrealistic test, a little bit of an unfair test, because if there was this much traffic, it seems like the model is getting over in plenty of advance, so it would already have been over some by now. But we're stress testing it. Car moved over for that motorcycle before I knew they were there. Something you got to get used to with FSD is that if a motorcycle comes up from behind you, it starts swinging over before you even see him, kind of freaks you out a little bit. And there you go. Easy peasy. We're over here in the right lane, ready to exit. Didn't show any panic or have to get over right away. It just waited until things broke open a little bit and took the opportunity, and that's great, and that is improved behavior. And there was a little bit of this earlier, but there's times, especially with the older versions, where you're just like, okay, now let's get over, let's do it now. He'll start like, now's the time, and it just won't do it. But it seems like there's less and less of that, and it's starting just to act more human. Just be a smarter driver every day. I'll go ahead and I was thinking about stopping the exit, but I'll let it go ahead and let it do the exit since it has to kind of merge in with these other cars. There we go. Okay, so we're getting back on the highway here. Again, I'm doing a little extended from exit, also just kind of some general highway behavior and lane changing behavior stuff on this video, and which is really impressive. It's not really a whole lot to see. I mean, this is kind of a stressful area. I mean, when you're driving through this traffic and you're having to get on the highway, it's a bit of stress. This thing just, I'm completely relaxed, letting it just handle everything. Starting to sound like the people in California that do videos. It's never been quite that good for me. It's never been that stress-free, but it's turning into that. It's turning into this. I mean, I'm starting to, I can squint, look at a calendar and squint and see, yeah, maybe they will release some sort of unsupervised version this year. I've never said that before. I've always thought that was optimistic, but okay, we're back moving. 1.5 miles to exit. Things are slowing down here. Let's see if it goes to the left to go around these people. Kind of hope it does, just to give us a more challenging scenario. But no, it's not. It's not going to do it. It's going to stick to the right, which is the right thing to do. And you can see this. This is I mean, it's 0.9 miles, and we're over here. We're ready to exit. I have mentioned in past videos, I've done this exit testing, and it's done really good. And then I feel like after about a week or two, or however long, maybe it's just a week and a half of driving, I realize that it's getting worse. And I hope that's not the case here. So we'll have to see. Maybe I can do another test if that's the case. That was kind of weird. I don't know why it did that. It kind of jogged over into that lane that was ending. Don't really know what's going on here. It's confused. The car is confused right now, because it's got 0.1 mile to exit, and it just got out of the exit lane. Look at this. Wow. That was really strange. I don't know what it was doing there, but let me get this out of here. Okay, yeah, back there, it didn't like, I guess, the dotted lines, and what that was is there was an exit right before this, the Parker Road exit is Park Road, and for some reason it did not like being in that exit only lane for Parker, and it got out of the lane. And then whenever it said it went down to 400 feet, 300, I think it went down to 100 feet, it said, whoa, and it just jumped back and took the exit, but it almost missed it. That wasn't from not getting over soon enough. That was just some sort of confusion. So I've never seen that before. I'm glad I got that on camera. Okay, I have the next destination in there. It's already immediately decided to start getting over. 0.9 miles. This would be a good test. Now, it does this if everyone's slowing down like this in the middle of it trying to change lanes, it will stop, and that's what it did. Immediately we started seeing a bunch of brake lights, and it turned the turn signal off. Very human-like behavior. That's something that I'll do as well. Is if things are changing in front of me, I will not change lanes. just pay it to do one thing at a time. And it seems like it did that. Because it had room to get over, but it just decided, no, we're going to wait to change lanes until we slow down just a little bit. These are these little details that that it has to do correctly to be safe, you know, for several 100,000 miles between, you know, any kind of incident on the highway. So he got over here, 0.2 miles, but I really didn't give it much time to get over. It got over here as quick as it could. And here we go. All right, so we're set up for the next exit. 4.4 miles, so a little ways down the road. Wanted to mention, I'm not sure how this is working out, but I did move my screen to light mode, even though it's night. Little story, I used to have a Model 3, a 2021 Model 3, and these lights that are up here that are always blinking in the night videos, I can't see them now, but you can see them in the video. Those are there so that the camera can see your eyes for the attention monitoring. That's why those are there, so they can see you at night. Well, the older cars don't have it. Like the Hardware 3 cars, I don't think have that, or maybe the older Hardware 3 cars. So in my Model 3, if at night, for all you guys out there that are running version 12.6, the attention monitoring wouldn't work very well. And so what I always did is I'd turn it to light mode at night, and that would light up the cabin and help with, and then that would work. That made it to where the attention monitoring could see me. So anyway, I had kind of a similar theory. My night videos are a little dark, so thought that might look a little bit better, but we'll see how it goes. By the time you watch this, I'll have an opinion on it for sure. 2.7 miles. We're really cooking. I think the Model 3 here is seeing some open road and it's ready to go. It's been a while since we've seen some open road. 77 miles an hour over here on the left lane. It's kind of an express lane. Kind of sick of talking about that. It seems like every video I talk about that, but this is an express lane. But at this point, it's just used as a left lane of the highway. There's no monitoring of it for it being express. Don't know what else to say about that, but okay, 1.7 miles. All right, we're getting over, going 80 miles an hour in the left lane. This is great for testing. Now me at 1.5, I wouldn't mind it like kicking it down to chill mode and then like getting over, but it's never going to do that. Can't micromanage the drive. All right, let's see if it makes it over by the 0.5 mile standard. At least I use that standard when it has plenty of time, like it had this time. We're at 0.5 miles, and this is good. I think this is a merge lane, so yeah, this is good. Still trying to process what happened back there at that Parker exit. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen it do on the highway. It wasn't unsafe. It just literally got confused. So this exit did perfectly. We're getting down to the last couple. Okay, we got the next destination set. This might wind up being the last one. Not quite sure yet. It's 2 miles. Roads have just opened up. It usually does not have any issues up here. But we'll see. We'll see how it does. Yeah, it's getting over nice and early. I really hope that it doesn't. I don't know if I'm not an engineer, but well, here we go. We're getting back in the left lane. So spoke too soon. But what I was going to say is I don't know if it's really possible for this to happen, but it just seems like after a couple weeks of driving, after you put 500,000 miles on it, it starts not getting over early again for exits. And I really hope that doesn't happen. This is as good as I've ever seen it perform on exits. And I guess that should be no surprise. This is the latest version. This is what they're working on. They're trying to get this unsupervised. They're trying to get rid of these steering wheels and just make these cars fully autonomous. So the latest version should be the best version. Speaking of that, Cybercab production is starting soon. Following that very closely because I'm really curious how they're going to turn on the Cybercab printing machine when they don't really have all that many unsupervised vehicles out there ready yet. But sounds like they're right on the edge of opening it up, getting rid of all the safety drivers on the robotaxi network. The way that Tesla in front of us is acting, I almost wonder if that's FSD. Very slow, smooth lane changing. It'd be 12.6.4 because it's a Model 3, Hardware 3 Model 3, but every Tesla I see that I peek into, there's a hand on the steering wheel. I never see people using FSD. It's a shame. Well, this is going to be it. Looks like we got 0.4 miles. We're over here, ready to exit. Really appreciate everyone watching. This has been fun. It's really great to see this improvement. We got to see a little bit of a glitch back there. Not sure what to think of that. Again, if you like this content, please subscribe, and thank you to everyone that has subscribed. Again, I'm just a big fan of watching FSD videos and FSD just like you guys are. I just decided to buy a camera and start recording them myself, so I really appreciate it. Take care. We'll see you next time.